first half and the second half for you were dramatically different. Just what changed for you in halftime and what happened in the second half?
Just being aggressive. Teammates, Joseph in my ear, he being aggressive, attack the rim. Good things happened when I did that. Was getting to the free throw line. Looks like I took 13 free throws, so that helped a lot.
What did you think of the impact that Joseph had and all the threes he was hitting?
It was great. I knew we could have it the whole year. He's our best shooter, obviously, as you can see. What you shoot, man? 3 for 6, 50%. That's real good. So we're going to need that down the stretch. He had some really big threes. It got too loud. I had to cover my ears. So, it was good.
Well, you guys were down by 17. It was early, but that's a big deficit. It's a pretty good team. What was the mindset at that point, and what do you think keyed the comeback for you guys?
You got it, Sean.
We knew they were a team that comes out and punches teams in the mouth real early. So, we had to be prepared for that. And I feel like we didn't really show it, but I felt like we were pretty prepared for it to once they get their hits over, it's a hard time to come right back at them.
What do you think about that, Rick?
Like he said, coach was emphasizing against Kentucky, against Illinois. They came out early and punched them in the mouth, and they were just playing a catch-up game the whole time. And we obviously did the same, but we just kept fighting, kept pushing, and we just came back.
And then you guys, you had a big run to get ahead. I think it was 46-42. They tied it with a dunk. I think it was Ricky. You hit a three to give you guys the lead for good. Do you remember that? It was a pretty deep three, as I recall. What do you remember about that shot and just kind of righting the ship there?
I didn't really shoot that good tonight, but I just had to keep shooting, and went in. Like you said, we took the lead, and that was just good for us. I need to shoot like Joseph, though. That'd be a lot easier.
Yeah, and then I think they were up 34-19. You guys closed the half on a 7-0 run, then opened the half on a 19-8 run. So whatever that adds up to. It was a big run at the end of the half and start of the half. Well, what do you guys think were the key to those? Maybe Joseph, you could take it, then Ricky.
I just feel like we were the more prepared team. I felt like we came out prepared to, hit them in the mouth this time instead of them hitting us in the mouth.
In the second half, you mean?
Yeah, yes, sir. Sorry.
What do you think, Ricky?
Yeah, the first 5 out there in the second half really brought it. He started Joseph, obviously, and he did everything he wanted. He knocked down shots. He made good defensive plays, and it was really big for us down the stretch. I know his playing time increased through conference play.
Joseph, I think the most you'd ever played before tonight was 19 minutes, 27 tonight. How are you feeling physically, and when did you know that this was going to be a game you had to play quite a bit?
Whenever I hit my first three, I felt like, I might have to play a little bit tonight. Our shots weren't falling in the first half, but, I'm glad that I was able to hit some threes to help us.
And Ricky, you mentioned it. You started on the bench in the second half. Did you feel like that maybe, helped you relax? Did it light a fire under you, or how did that maybe impact the way you played once you get on the floor?
No, I've been there before throughout my career. Started on the bench my first 2 years, so it really wasn't anything. It was coach's decision. I just had to live with it. Man, I had an attitude, had a positive attitude, watch my teammates eat.
Ricky, I think in the stretch in the second half, I think you scored maybe 14 of the team's 20 points over a stretch. Just kind of what got you going, or what kind of switch flipped for you there?
Like I said, first half, I wasn't being aggressive, attacking. Like, honestly, just being on the floor, it just seemed like I couldn't get through any gaps without possibly turn it over. But it just seemed more open the second half. Like you said, I was on the bench and I got to watch my teammates play. And I felt like that's really what helped me throughout my career. Got to see people first and then go out there and attack. So that's what it was.
What have you thought about your play through 2 league games so far?
Definitely needs to improve, especially efficiency-wise. I was really efficient earlier in the year, non-conference, so I need to get back to that. But I'll take 1 for 100 if we win. So we're all right.
I guess for Ricky, usually you guys come out ahead in the points off turnovers battle. You didn't tonight, but you dominated the glass, 15 offensive rebounds, and you won the second chance points. How important was it tonight to get those extra possessions and convert?
It was real big. Coach pointed out that they won a good offensive rebound team, and I feel like we really took full advantage of that. I know I got a couple, which was rare throughout the season. Joseph got some. Kamani obviously did his work. So that was real big for us, and it gave us second chances to cap on it.
And then obviously TB wasn't able to play tonight, but I'm sure he had this one circled on his calendar against his old team. Was there any added motivation for you guys tonight to kind of go out there and get that one for him?
No doubt. I mean, we've been talking about it all year. For TB, this old school. I know people were saying whatever about him and maybe in a negative way. So we just had to do it for him for sure.
Ricky, I know you're a good free throw shooter, but 5 out of 6 in the last 25 when the game's on the line. I mean, how clutch was that? Kind of what was your feeling going to the line in those situations?
Just felt like I was at practice shooting by myself. I mean, I've done it enough times. My third year in college, I should be hitting free throws. So I practice it all the time, every end of the workout when I'm tired. So it just felt natural.
And obviously you guys had a tough road loss last week. How big was it to defend the home court and, you know, not go down 0-2 even when they jumped out ahead like that?
Real big. Like I said, they've been on a crazy stretch. Literally beat 2 ranked teams, and they was trying to get their third. And obviously, they're a real good team, but it was real big for us to cap this off at home for sure.
Yeah, Joe's, what's your thoughts on that about making sure you get the win at home?
You know, we always trying to defend home court. That's what Monty says, but you know, just never want to lose at home, especially in the SEC where you got to go and play hard teams on the road who they also don't lose at home. So, you know, you got to get the ones that are considered easier.
You know, Auburn got beat tonight, but I think they won 26 in a row at home. You guys got to go there Saturday. What are your thoughts on that? Maybe what'd you learn at LSU that you can take to Auburn?
You know, no game's really just the same in the SEC. So I feel like, I don't really know, honestly. I'm first game or second game in the SEC, but I feel like none of the games will be the same. So, you know, you can't really, you just got to like,
Ricky, you obviously played a lot of road games in the Valley. What's your thoughts on? I guess the AAC. Sorry,
just like Missouri is a really good team, and they were knocking people off, and we obviously had the home court advantage. They're not gonna want us to come in there and take down, like you said, 29 in a row. It's gonna be tough if they were a good team or if they weren't, and they are a good team. So every game is gonna be tough. Every game is gonna be down to the last couple possessions. So we just gotta come out with the game plan, which we will figure out tomorrow.
Yeah, Joseph, I think a couple of the threes that you hit were transition. They just found you kind of alone in the corner. Are you taught to run to corners in broken floor situations, or are you just, I guess that's just instinctual?
Yeah, they really emphasized it a lot whenever we're doing transition drills at practice. They're just like, get to the corner, space the court out. So I have a chance to be able to shoot, or my teammates have a chance to drive it and get a wide open shot either way.
You know, Devo had a few turnovers tonight, but 10 boards, 10 points, or 10 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. What'd you think of Devo's all-around game?
You know, sometimes, you know, people turn the ball over. It happens. But, you know, he's always going to play hard. He's always going to pretty much make up for the mistakes that he does make. So, you know, I feel like we all trust him. We all know he's going to do what he's going to do. And we're just here to help him out, basically.
Ricky, what'd you think about Devo's stuffing or whatever?
Nah, me and him looks like we both had 5 turnovers, which I know coach is disappointed in because we're one of the older guys. But back to Devo, yeah. So I really don't know. I mean, he always makes a good impact on the game, and even though he does do the turnovers, like you said, he had 3 steals, 5 assists. He's gonna make up for it. So it really kind of equals out, if you could say that.
Good.
Muss obviously down by 17 at one point there in the first half. You guys rallied back and trimmed it to 7 by halftime. Just looked like maybe a completely re-energized group in the second half. What just kind of keyed the turnaround there to get you guys a victory?
You know, I obviously second half pace of play, 47 points, and then defensively, you know, I thought both halves. I mean, we held them to 34 both halves, which. Missouri's a really good offensive team. They're, you know, to think that we outscored them in fast break points is a key statistic because of their pace of play. You know, and then I thought the 15 offensive rebounds and the 17 second chance points, you know, really helped us. And then I thought, to be honest with you, you know, we just had too many self-inflicted turnovers. You know, obviously their defense will do that to you, but you know, 7 steals is probably right around what they average. I don't think that, but we had too many just turnovers on us that we need to clean up for sure. But Joe's opinion, you know, really changed our look offensively against that particular zone because he flattened it out by being a threat in the corner and then knocking shots down.
And then you mentioned it there, but you decided to start Joseph over Ricky there to start the second half, and it looks like it worked out on both ends of those for you. Joseph gave you a spark, and then Ricky came in and had a great second half. Do you feel like it did the job that you hoped it would do?
Yeah, I think that with any basketball team, if guys are playing large minutes, you can't take that for granted, and somebody's got to be there to. I don't know what word to use. The first word that comes to my mind is there's a threat for somebody to come in and take your minutes. Sure, there's a better word than that, but I can't find it right now. Yeah, that was a decision I wanted to go with. It was easy. I walked into the locker room and made the decision without discussing it with anyone. I liked how Joseph was playing. I thought defensively, he walled up and did a really good job. And I looked at that plus minus at halftime, and you guys can look at a halftime sheet and look at the plus minus as well. And it was great for both guys. It was great for Ricky too, to see the team come out and play good in the second half. And then, we don't win the game without Ricky's second half isolations at the top of the key.
I guess motivation might be a good word.
That's a good one. You can use that, Bob, instead of the other word. Everybody.
No, I don't care. I'm just saying.
Put in parentheses, Bob Holt.
Yeah, you guys are down 17. I know you've been a second half team, and actually it started. You closed the first half on a 7-0 run. So and Joseph hit that big three. But what's the thinking on the bench when you're down 17, and what was the key, do you think, to coming back like that?
Yeah, I don't have the stats in front of me from the first half, but the free throws attempted I thought was important to have a little bit more attack. Thought we did a good job against their zone of running our 5-man into random pick and rolls. And again, just the pace of play. I mean, I think you have a decision to make with Missouri. Do you want to run, or do you want to play a tempo game? And we wanted to obviously try to score in transition as much as we could. And then you have another decision. You have a dilemma because they're a great fast break transition team. Do you hit the offensive glass, or do you get back? So those two decisions are two decisions that you have to make. And we obviously decided to try to crash the offensive glass and not send 2 or 3 back. We sent 4, sometimes 5 to the offensive glass, and they do a great job of sometimes leaking out and getting transition baskets. But I thought we had some really good individual defensive performances. I thought Devo Davis did a phenomenal job defensively, and I thought that the combination of Kamani Johnson as well as Mekhi Mitchell did an excellent job on Kobe Brown, not giving up a 3-point attempt and only allowing 7 field goals attempted against a guy that had scored 61 points in the last 2 games against 2 ranked teams.
And then Devo, I know he had some kind of crazy passes that probably you didn't like, but he did have 10 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. What do you think of his all-around game? You mentioned his defense.
I thought his all-around great game was phenomenal, because obviously Hodge, number 5, is you look at his scoring numbers and what he's done thus far. I thought Devo did a great job of containing one of the league's best scores. And then obviously his rebounds, his assists, all that. I thought he was phenomenal. That's why, I don't know what he played, 37 minutes.
Pinion hasn't played a ton of minutes this year, but did you have an idea coming in that he might be a significant player for you, or was it just kind of like the flow of the game with him playing 27 minutes tonight?
No, we felt, Hutch, I felt that we were going to get zoned tonight. And so I felt that he would, if in fact the first unit struggled, that he was going to be an option that we were going to have to look at. And then on the other end, they're a team that will try to find a matchup that they like and isolate you. And I thought he did a really good job defensively. And, probably the most surprising thing of Joseph's play when he's gotten minutes he's done a pretty good job of defending guys, you know, and I thought he did that again tonight. You know, there's one blow by, but we had a lot of guys that got blown by once, you know, so I thought he did a phenomenal job. I mean, he shoots the ball with confidence every day. You know, when you watch your team spot shoot, I mean, he's an elite shooter, and the way their zone is where they have so many guys above the foul line, that deep corner was a sweet spot we felt for somebody.
And then also, I mean, even against LSU, y'all were a much better offensive team in the second half. What do you think is contributing to the slow starts? And then also, what's it say about your young team that y'all are able to kind of get things going in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I mean, it's all coaches' jobs, whether it's football, whether it's basketball. You know, you've got to try to make an adjustment in the second half, and you know, you hope your team can, if you do something on the fly, maybe changing, not running our zone offense like we did the first half. We went to what we call our open offense, and we went to middle pick and rolls, and then being able to adjust on the fly. I thought helped us tonight. And, you know, you do get worried about a young team being able to do that, but Anthony is so smart, and Devo's been around, and Kamani. And so those three guys really do a good job of, hey, this is what we're supposed to do. Now we got to go do it. Yeah, and he made significant strides with the -9 from, I mean, huh? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. -18 is a lot. But he was absolutely vital scoring the basketball in the second half. And, you know, he struggled at LSU for the most part, the whole game offensively. And, you know, struggled in the first half. And so, you know, we decided to make that change. But I told him in the locker room, really proud of not starting. And then when he got inserted into the game, not letting it discombobulate his brain or his confidence, because he looked like a guy that was pretty confident regardless of what I did.
We've talked about the offensive changes and improvements, but as far as defensively, you managed to limit their 3-point shooting a lot more in the second half than in the first. Just what was the difference there?
Great question. I mean, to start the game off, I made a decision that we were going to have a goalie, and their first basket was on me. You know, we felt like, you know, DeGray was a guy that the more shot attempts he would take, the less Brown and Hodge would take, quite frankly. He hit a 3. That's on me. There was another 3 hit off of a guy that we were kind of sagging off. So sometimes you make a decision and you know, I mean, Gray was a guy that we wanted Kai to protect the rim and help on dribble drives. Probably would do it again too. You know, I mean, he only played 6 minutes. But that's probably why they had a couple. That's on me. Clean open shots.
And then Kamani had 8 rebounds, 3 of them on offense, and some real hustle plays. Just thoughts overall on his night.
Just the ultimate loose ball getter, the ultimate, you know, some guys rebound in their area, and Kamani's an excellent range rebounder. Excellent. And he's physical. He's kind of bouncing around, bouncing off bodies, and you know, he's got an incredible nose for the ball.
Eric, I don't know if you thought about this, but you lost your SEC home for the last 2 years, and they jumped out by 17. Obviously, it worked out. I think you guys went to the Elite Eight, so you recovered. But how big is it when you had a tough loss to LSU? How big was it to defend the home court and make sure you don't go to Auburn?
Yeah, I mean, I told the team, I mean, I don't know how many days we had, 7 days, 6 days. I mean, I told the team like it's a must win. I mean, I don't like to tell people that, but I mean, quite frankly, it was a must win tonight for us. And maybe that had an effect of how we played the first half, you know, because I've never told the team this early in the year, but I felt like with the toughness of the league that this was a game, especially because we had a long prep time. You know, that's, you know, if you have a long prep time, you know, I hope that we would, you know, play good basketball. And I thought we did defensively. I thought our shoot around, you know, in my opinion, shoot around's the most important practice that we had all week. Your game day shoot around, because it's your last mental reps that you get. And I thought our guys were locked in defensively. And again, maybe we worked too much defensively this week, but Mike Fratello, Chuck Daly, Hubie Brown, the guys that I've worked for, that shoot around's vital. And I thought our guys defensively today were locked in from a defensive scheme, and they understood the importance of trying to put extra emphasis on Brown and extra emphasis on Hodge, just like we did against LSU. I thought we did a phenomenal job against Miller and Williams, their two best players. So I think when you can make things difficult on star players that, you know, and other people are trying to score for an opponent, it helps your overall defense.
Ricky's obviously a good free throw shooter, but you know, a close game with less than 30 seconds, he's 5 out of 6. What do you think of that? What does that say about?
Yeah, I mean, we missed a front end of a 1-and-1 at LSU, and you know, you hope that doesn't carry over to the next game, which obviously it didn't. I mean, for Ricky to go 11 of 13, you know, from the foul line, we felt, since we've all gotten together and we do our little perfect free throw at the end of practice, he's one of the guys that's as good as anybody on our team. He shot technicals for us when we've been in that situation. So his drawing fouls and then his converting we need that from an offensive standpoint, especially when we struggle. Yeah, I thought he ran really hard, and we talk about not just getting to the corner, especially against a 1-3-1 or a 1-1-3, a zone that's a little bit more stretched out at the top is not just getting to the corner, but we call it the extreme corner. And then you got to have discipline to stay there if you're not getting the ball. And that's why even when Joseph did not score tonight, I thought he flattened things out, you know, for us from a spacing standpoint. If you don't have good spacing against Missouri, you're not going to give yourself a chance to win.
Eric, you guys are getting some separation of 42, 46, 42. They come back and tie it on a big dunk. And Ricky hits a deep three. And he didn't have a great shooting night, but what did you think of that shot? And I think you guys led the rest of the way. You know, it's different impact.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky, other than that LSU game, has been a guy that we've relied on to make end of shot clock plays or end of game shots. You know, he's a high field goal attempt player for us. He led us tonight in field goals attempted, and he can create his own shot. And you know, the hardest thing in basketball is when the play breaks down, do you have enough players that can create your own shot? And Ricky is one guy in particular that does a great job of creating his own shot.
You always talk about wanting your guys to play with so much freedom offensively, and was that kind of the perfect microcosm of that, where you have Devo and Ricky able to kind of work through some of their struggles?
Yeah, I mean, we want our guys to play with great offensive freedom and to play with great discipline defensively, and that's something we talk about every day. And when we ended shoot around today, I said against a team like Missouri that will gamble, and a team that is a high steal team, you know, there's going to be a lot of points in the game where you just got to play. There's a lot of broken plays, and you just got to be a basketball player. And I thought, especially in the second half, like I said, we just scrapped our zone offense and we went immediately into our open offense, which is really a 5-man motion type offense that we run against man to man when our plays break down. And I thought we did a good job of in that open offense, finding gaps and then, like I said, running into some random 05 or our center running random pick and rolls. Thanks.